Doctors and nurses of Reddit, what's the worst case you've ever witnessed? I was a resident in my second year when I got called into the for what I thought would be a routine intake. A man in his late 30s had come in complaining of stomach pain and dizziness. Nothing unusual until I saw him. He was pale, sweating through his shirt, and clutching his side like he'd been stabbed. His wife said he'd been getting worse for weeks, but he'd refused to see a doctor because he didn't want the bills. We rushed him through tests, and the CT scan lit up like a horror movie. His abdomen wasn't just inflamed, it was riddled with infection. A ruptured appendix that had gone untreated for weeks. The abscesses had spread so far they'd eaten into surrounding tissue. At that point, we weren't talking about saving the appendix. We were talking about saving his life. Surgery was scheduled immediately. When we opened him up, the smell hit first something between rotting meat and chemicals. His insides looked like they were dissolving. Pockets of pus bursting under the scalpel. We worked for hours, suctioning, scraping, cutting out dead tissue. It was like fighting a wildfire with a garden hose. Every time we stabilized one part, another part collapsed. And yet, somehow, he made it off the table. We put him in the ICU, hooked up to more antibiotics than I'd ever seen given to one person. His wife held his hand, whispering promises that he'd pull through. For a moment, it looked like maybe he would. But 3 days later, his organs began to shut down, one by one. Kidneys, liver, lungs. He coded twice, and though we brought him back both times, his body was failing. On the 5th night, he passed away quietly, machines flatlining in the darkness. His wife sobbed against my chest, begging me to tell her it wasn't real. What haunts me most isn't the gore, it's that it was preventable. A simple surgery weeks earlier. A couple nights in the hospital, and he'd still be alive. But fear of debt, of taking time off work, of looking weak, kept him home until it was too late. I've seen plenty of gruesome cases since, but that one sticks with me. Not because of how horrific it was, but because it reminded me that sometimes the scariest part of medicine isn't the disease. It's how long people wait before asking for help.